With two iconic city businesses changing ownership and the closure of another, the future of Northampton's vibrant downtown retail economy has been in question recently. Producer Tony Dunne talked to Mayor David Narkewicz about the state of downtown Northampton and his vision for the city's economic future.
One of the strengths, I think, of downtown Northampton is we are home to so many locally owned, locally grown businesses that have been, long established.
I mean, the city has great structural elements. It has great bones, as they say. The downtown, the streets are wide, the architecture is interesting. The train is here. There's a lot of beauty in the city. The college is here, so there's a lot of good attributes. And I think the key is that community support.
There was a time when, the joke is, you could roll a bowling ball down Main Street and not hit anybody. We had a lot of empty storefronts. And then we had a whole group of young entrepreneurs, many of them who, either grew up here or in some cases went to school here and then stayed in the area, bought some of these buildings and opened, businesses. And some of those businesses have, started small and then spun out into other locations. I mean, A to Z started as a small store inside Thorne's Market. People may not know that.
That was a great part of the Northampton genesis because many entrepreneurs need a place to start. And sometimes, especially with the rents where they are in some downtowns, it's hard to get a foothold in there. And so Thorne's was great in terms of offering a space to start up in the way we did 18 years ago. So it helped us tremendously.
And Thorne's is doing really well. They're fully rented up right now. So we've got a lot of these long-time businesses, and in some cases the ownership of those businesses are now, aging out. In the case of A to Z, Jack Finn and Priscilla, the owners, actually just sold the business to an employee.
It was bound to happen because a lot of us got into business about the same time, and people do get old and they wear out. So I think it's not a surprise. We've been talking about it for years, that the aging of the store owners in town.
Faces, obviously, the owners of Faces decided they didn't want to run that business anymore, and now another business interest that already has a business in downtown has decided to take it on, the Hanush family. So there's a little bit of turnover, but I think if you look at our vacancies, even when a vacancy occurs, you mentioned Iris Photo, there's already a new business that's slated to move in there. So we have vacancies, but Northampton is still a really attractive place for people to do business.
And I think people have to understand that in a way they're voting with their dollars. And if they want the downtown to be kind of the crossroads of their civic lives the way it's been for years and years, they've got to understand that they need to support with their dollars the stores that mean something to them.
And I think people in Northampton, respond to that. We do have national retailers here in Northampton that are right alongside local retailers, and I know there's always been a concern that, it's going to drive out, but frankly, they tend to coexist just fine, and I think people put their dollars where their mouth is in terms of supporting the community.
I think the community gets the downtown that they want and they deserve, and I have a lot of optimism around Northampton because I think the people enjoy the civic interaction that happens in a downtown like this, and I don't think they're going to want that to go away anytime soon.
So we have this great mix of old established businesses and all these new young entrepreneurs who want to be in Northampton. I mean, Northampton's kind of the place that they want to be, because not only do they want to work here, but they also want to be able to step out of their workplace and have great restaurants, entertainment, art, all the things we offer.